Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devam Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye. Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavtanayeshtike. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Nama Pankajanabhaya Nama Pankajamanine Nama Pankajanetraya Namaste Pankajangre. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakya Chaksharam Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Radhanatha Swami Niti Namine. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swami Niti Namine. Namo Acharya Padaya Nitai Kripa Pradayane Gaurapatha Dhamadaya Nagaragramatarine. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Narine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Vishutarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Sri Damodarastakam, we all know these 8 verses, these beautiful 8 verses have been written by Srila Satyavrata Muni. He is the one who has composed these few verses, these 8 verses. And before we get into these verses, there is a prelude to these 8 verses. If you notice, the first verse, it's starting off with Mother Yashoda actually chasing baby Krishna. So there is a prelude to this particular stanza from which, the first stanza from which this Damodarastakam is actually starting. So we'll go into that prelude first. So the pastime we all know of Sri Damodar, of this baby Krishna, it happened on the day of Diwali, in this very month, on the day of Diwali, which is coming up next week. On that very auspicious day, this particular pastime of Mother Yashoda binding baby Krishna took place. So we all can understand that Mother Yashoda, she is actually the queen of Vrindavan, the elderly queen of Sri Vrindavan Dham, because Nanda Maharaj is the king of Vrindavan, of Gokul. And they had this huge palace, and in Nanda Maharaj's Goshala, Nanda Maharaj had only 900,000 cows. Only. Very small amount. 900,000 cows. And out of these 900,000, there were 108 cows, which were very special cows. And out of these 108, 8 of them were very, very special. They were the most special cows. It was actually these 8 cows that were directly under the supervision of Mother Yashoda. Mother Yashoda would not allow any other servant to even touch these cows because these cows were fed a very special kind of grass called Padmagandha grass, which was lotus flavored grass, and thus these cows, they would yield Padmagandha milk, which is lotus flavored milk, and that's why these cows were also given the special name Padmagandha cows. And so these 8 cows were very, very special, and only the milk from these cows were actually offered to Krishna. And Mother Yashoda would personally milk these cows. Nowadays we see there's so much strawberry milk cows, strawberry milk flavored milk or chocolate flavored milk. But, Krishna, he used to drink, or he drinks rather, even till today, he drinks lotus flavored milk. And it's way beyond imagination. It's much more tastier than even strawberry flavored milk. And Krishna would eat all the yogurt, butter, or any other milk product that he would eat. It would actually be made from this lotus flavored milk, and Mother Yashoda would personally make it for him, like that. So it was the day of Diwali, and as we all can understand, the Diwali day means that it's a day of festivity. There's so much, preparations to be made. So Mother Yashoda, she got up very, very early in the morning. She took her bath, she finished her morning duties, and then the first thing she did was to go straight into the Goshala with a huge pot to milk these Padmagandha cows. And she milked these 8 cows and got a huge pot of milk from these 8 cows, and she brought it back into the kitchen and she put it on the stove, on the fire. She put it on the fire for the milk to start boiling. And then when the milk was starting to boil and everybody was still asleep, it was still very dark, nobody was up, and none of the servants were up. The Mother Yashoda was the only one who was actually up this early so that she can start, preparing for the festivities of the day. And Mother Yashoda, she actually said, when my Kanha gets up today morning, what I'm going to give him is, I'm going to churn some fresh makhan for him, fresh butter. Let me do that. So then she took the yesterday's yogurt and she started churning it in that pot. She started churning the yogurt into butter. And when she started doing that, she was all alone. There was nobody around next to her. So she was, to keep her company, she started singing. She started humming, rather, and singing a song. And the song that she was singing was her own made-up of song that she made up of Krishna's pastime. So she was singing, glorifying Krishna in this way. And when she was doing that, there was nobody to play the mridanga, there was nobody to play the kartal. She was all by herself. So no musical accompaniments with her, but there was nice music coming. From what? The butter pot, the yogurt pot that she was churning, the stick with which she was churning was making this ghar, ghar, ghar sound, and it was like a nice, mridanga sound, like a tabla sound that was coming. And her bangles, when it was, clinching against like that, making that kind of sound when she was churning with the rope, she was churning the butter. So with the bangles, with her own bangles clinking, it made a nice sound of kartals. So these were the musical accompaniments that was going on when Mother Yashoda was singing all by herself and glorifying Krishna. So everyone was asleep, but baby Krishna, he could hear that, there's something going on. And he immediately, his lotus eyes, his tiny little lotus eyes, he just opened them and he heard Mother Yashoda singing so melodiously. And as soon as he heard, as soon as he just sat up, he immediately felt one emotion. And that emotion was, even before he felt love or any other emotion, was one thing that immediately struck him was hunger. He was hungry as soon as he got up. So as soon as he got up, he felt hungry and he said, oh, I have to go to my mother. And then he just, with his little feet, he was just, fluttering down to his mother. He just was following the sound of her voice. And he just came and gave her a big hug from behind. And Krishna, at this time, Krishna was just around 3 or 4 years young. He was a very young boy. And Krishna would not even wear any clothes. There was not a strand of cloth on his body. And his body would actually just be adorned with, jeweled ornaments. Only he would wear ornaments. That's what he would wear. Of course, we see many paintings of, Mother Yashoda binding Krishna. You will see that he's having a little yellow cloth. But if you see one of the most famous paintings, Krishna is actually not wearing anything. And that's what is mentioned by Srila Sanatana Goswami Pad also, that he actually wasn't wearing any clothing at this time. Because he was at home, he was a young baby, and he would be nicely covered with a nice huge belt at his waist, and jewels and pearls hanging down his neck, and bracelets, armlets, ankle belts. All of this would adorn his transcendental body. So when baby Krishna came and hugged Mother Yashoda, she was so shocked. She was so surprised to see baby Krishna. She said, oh my Kanha, why are you awake so early in the morning? What happened? And then baby Krishna, he just said, Maya, I'm so hungry. Please feed me. So Mother Yashoda just left the churning, and then she took Krishna on her lap and she started giving him her milk. And Krishna was feeling so happy that Mother Yashoda, the first thing in the morning he's seeing is her loving face and getting to drink her milk. And Mother Yashoda was also feeling so happy, oh my baby, seeing that beautiful lotus-like face of Krishna. His face is so enchantingly beautiful. Krishna's eyes just resemble like lotus. His lips are so reddish, and he's got locks of black hair that surround his face. So beautiful, and his hair feels as soft as cotton. And his lotus face, is nice and juicy and plumpy. So beautiful, Krishna is so attractive. So Mother Yashoda was, just drinking the nectar of Krishna's beauty, and Krishna was drinking the ambrosial nectar of milk from Mother Yashoda. So like this, they were having a competition that who was feeling more happy. As soon as Krishna would feel a little happy, then Mother Yashoda would feel more happy. Then Krishna would feel more happy, and then Mother Yashoda would feel more happy. Like this, they were having a nice, spiritual competition that who can feel most happy, in each other's company like this. And suddenly, a dreadful thought entered Mother Yashoda's mind. She just remembered that, oh, I had kept that pot of milk to boil in the kitchen. What is happening to that milk? So then, Mother Yashoda, she didn't want, to lose, she didn't want that milk to boil over, because if the milk boils over, we all know that the cream, the actual cream or the malai in the milk is actually that's the first thing to fall off. So Mother Yashoda wanted to save that milk because that's the real nectar, and she wanted that milk to be used in Krishna's service. So although Srila Sanatana Goswami points out in this particular instance that although Mother Yashoda was feeling so happy, so satisfied in Krishna's service, she was also doing Krishna's service by giving him her milk, but she was not concerned about her own happiness. She was more concerned about what is pleasing to Krishna. And just because she wanted to also engage not only herself, but she wanted to engage others also in serving Krishna and not let them feel less important, she wanted to go and save that milk. This point, actually, Sanatana Goswami points out, is the nature of a pure devotee. A pure devotee is not just concerned about, their own service or how much they can please, either their own guru or Krishna, but they believe, and they genuinely believe in engaging everyone. If they can do collective service, if they can engage each and every person in the service of Guru and Krishna, that is the greater satisfaction. And if it means that they will not get to do any service, they are okay with it. Because they know that this is what is going to actually please Krishna if they can engage everyone in the service of Krishna. So although Mother Yashoda was feeling so happy, she forsook her own happiness for the higher service of Krishna, to save that milk so that it can be properly used in the service of Krishna. So Mother Yashoda, she immediately just took baby Krishna, she picked him up from her lap, put him down on the floor, and ran inside the kitchen to save that milk. As soon as she did this, although it was for service, but still Krishna became very angry. He became very angry because Mother Yashoda left him unsatisfied. You know, his hunger was still there. He was so hungry, and Mother Yashoda, she just ran away to save that milk. Krishna was very angry. And this is the nature of love, that, you become very demanding. Krishna is very demanding when he comes down to, dealing with his pure devotees. He is very demanding. So like this, even Krishna, he this is the perfection of, the relationship that Mother Yashoda and Krishna have is like in its highest perfection. That Mother Yashoda is only thinking about Krishna's satisfaction, and Krishna, he is also thinking about his own satisfaction, So in this way, Krishna, he felt so angry that why did Mother Yashoda leave me like this? And Mother Yashoda, as soon as she went inside the kitchen, she saw that the milk was just about to boil over, and she immediately was able to take the milk off the flame, and she stopped the milk from boiling over. Now, before we get on to what Krishna did out of his anger, there's another point that comes here, which Sanatana Goswami points out, is that why did the milk choose that particular time to boil over? The milk could have chosen to boil over before or after. The milk was placed so long ago by Mother Yashoda on the fire. The milk could have, boiled over before also, or it could have waited. Why did it have to boil over right then? Why did the milk choose that particular moment to boil over? And Srila Sanatana Goswami explains that milk in this material world, or any other, non-living entity for that matter, does not have any consciousness. The milk also is not supposed to be having consciousness in the material world. But when it is in connection with Krishna, in the spiritual world, every particular article, every particular, even so-called non-living things also have consciousness. They also know that they exist for the pleasure of Krishna. They exist to be served and utilized by Krishna for his service. They know that. So that comes to Krishna's ornaments, Krishna's, angarastras, his dresses. Everything is actually living in the spiritual world. So even the trees can talk, the leaves can talk, the fruits can talk, and the milk can talk. Everyone can talk in the spiritual world. So having said this, Sanatana Goswami explains that the milk, the reason why it chose to, boil over at that particular moment was that the milk also heard Devi Krishna coming. And the milk was also, before that, it was also relishing very nicely what Mother Yashoda was singing. The milk was also nicely, getting heated up and, just feeling very nice. And then the milk heard Mother Yashoda, Devi Krishna coming. And, the milk heard the conversation between Krishna, and, the milk just wanted to take a peek, wanted to see how Mother Yashoda is giving her milk to baby Krishna, and what kind of loving exchange that they are having. The milk was curious to see. Now, as soon as the milk came out a little bit, just came little up from the pot, it saw that the milk saw that baby Krishna is so nicely drinking Mother Yashoda's milk, and Mother Yashoda is also feeling so happy, Krishna is feeling so happy. It immediately started thinking, oh, what is the use of my existence? Krishna is was so satisfied with Mother Yashoda's milk, why will he drink me? Why will, he'll not even want to drink my milk. Mother Yashoda's milk is far more superior to what I have. So that is why, feeling such sadness, the milk was wanting to boil over and commit suicide. So this is what is explained by Srila Sanatana Goswami, that this was the reason why the milk chose this particular moment to boil over. So Mother Yashoda, she assured the milk that, no, my dear milk, even you are important to be used in Krishna's service. That I am going to make sure that you are also used in Krishna's service. And that is why she came and saved that milk from committing suicide. So the milk was also very satisfied and so grateful to Mother Yashoda for her compassion. So this was the interaction that was going on in the kitchen. And outside, Krishna was very, very angry. Krishna was so angry that in his anger, he just picked up a stone, a rock, and he just broke the pot of yogurt that Mother Yashoda was turning into butter. And then he just made a whole mess. The entire yogurt just spread all over the floor. And then Krishna just picked up some butter from the top of that pot, and then he just started walking and he went into the courtyard. And then in the meanwhile, Mother Yashoda, she took care of the milk and everything, and when she came out, she saw that she was so scared, because the first thought that entered her mind was, oh, maybe some demon has come and taken Krishna, because already Putana had come, Trinavasta had come, and Shakatasura. These three demons had already come to attack baby Krishna. So as soon as she saw this baby, huge mess in the area, and Krishna is not anywhere to be seen, that thought again entered her mind that maybe a demon has come and made this mess and taken Krishna away. But then that thought she immediately became very relaxed, because she saw Krishna's baby butter footprint walking away from that messy area. So she understood, and she started smiling to herself that, oh, this is not any demon, but my own little demon has done this. My own baby Krishna has actually done this mess. But at the same time, even she became very angry at Krishna, that she had spent so many days in, making the house pick and span for Diwali, for festival. And, here Krishna, so early in the morning only, he made such a great mess. Imagine yogurt spilled all over and spoiling the furniture, spoiling everything. At least they didn't have carpet there, but maybe some carpets were there, not wall to wall, but some carpet was there. So, Mother Yashoda was so angry that Krishna, I cleaned up the whole house, and here you made another mess. The first time, Mother Yashoda, the first time in her dealings with Krishna, she actually became very angry with Krishna. And she picked up a stick and she said that I am going to punish Krishna. And then she started following the butter footprints, and she came to the courtyard. Now in the courtyard, Krishna, he had his back towards Mother Yashoda, so he couldn't see Mother Yashoda coming. But Krishna, he was nicely sitting and having a nice butter picnic in the courtyard. And it was early in the morning, maybe around 6 o'clock in the morning. The sun was just rising. And at that time, Krishna had called his friends. Now his other friends, Mother Mangal, Sridham, Sudham, and all of them, they were fast asleep. No one was up. But his other friends, the monkeys and the birds, called them. And he called them, and they were all sitting nicely and having a butter picnic. So Krishna was eating from his own right hand, and he was having his left hand out, and from his left hand, the monkeys were taking the butter, and the birds were taking the butter, and they were all eating. Now, how much butter do you think a 3-year-old's little palms can hold? Very little, right? But because Krishna is the Supreme Personality of God, is the Supreme Absolute Truth, so whatever he has is always in completeness. And it's always in full. Om Purnam Ada Purnamidam. That Krishna, nothing can be in scarcity with him. So if he has a palm full of yogurt and that butter will never get over because Krishna's palm is holding it. So therefore, there was an unending supply of butter for Krishna to keep enjoying and for the monkeys and the birds to keep enjoying. So like this, they were all sitting and nicely enjoying the butter in the courtyard. And Mother Yashoda, Mother Yashoda came there, and she came from behind. And as soon as she came, the birds and the monkeys, they ran away, the birds flew away, and Krishna was like, don't go. And then he realized that, there is something wrong. He looked behind his shoulder, and he saw Mother Yashoda coming. Now this is the point, that the first verse, written by Srila Satyavrata Muni, that comes into light. Now this verse comes into picture. So we'll just recite this first verse. So this point in the pastime is where Satyavrata Muni is actually starting off his glorification of Sri Damodar. So here's the first verse. Namamishwaram Chidanandarupa Lasat Kundalam Gokule Brajamanam Yashodathanakha Madhavananam Param Rishtamatanta Tadruttagopya. So this first verse, Sri Satyavrata Muni is saying, Namami Shwaram Satchit Ananda Rupam. So he's saying, he's validating the fact that although Krishna is this young 3-year-old boy, he is still Satchit Ananda Rupam. He is Satchitananda Bhagavan, Parameshwar Bhagavan Shri Krishna. He is Ishvara. So he is offering his obeisances to Shri Satchitananda Bhagavan Shri Krishna, and the embodiment of Sat, which means eternal, Chit means knowledge, and Ananda is bliss. So Satchitananda Rupam. So he's offering his obeisances to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Lasat Kundalam Gokule Brajamanam. Brajamanam means one who resides in Gokula, in the abode of Gokula, he is residing. What does he reside with? Lasat Kundalam. Lasat Kundalam. Kundala means earring. Now, Lasat Kundalam, why does it say, like as I said in the beginning, why did Satyavrata Muni choose to glorify the earrings of Krishna? I mean, Krishna at this point, we know that his whole body is only decorated with ornaments. He's got ankle belts, he's got toe rings, he's got finger rings, he's got bracelets, armlets, waistbands, he's got necklaces, and a little small, pearl necklace, a pearl string adorning his forehead also. So why did Satyavrata Muni choose to glorify only the kundala, only the earring? Srila Sanatana Goswami explains this. He says that the kundala, the earrings of Krishna, he always wears long, long earrings. Now, when the earrings are actually the most fortunate, especially in connection with Krishna's childhood pastime, the earrings are considered to be the most fortunate because they actually get to come and give a kiss on Krishna's cheek every time Krishna moves his head. So they come and touch his cheek, which is like coming and giving him a kiss. Like when you see a young boy, who's so beautiful, the only thing that we always, tend to do is actually go and, pinch on the cheek and, just hug that small boy. And, that's the natural thing out of Vatsalya Ras that we do. So here, Satyavata Muni could have chosen anchor bells, because they're taking the dust on the lotus feet of Krishna. But because Krishna is a young boy and he's so cute and adorable that the earrings are glorified because they get to actually kiss Krishna's cheek at every point whenever Krishna moves his head. So that is why Kundalam is glorified here. So that is the most fortunate of Krishna's ornaments on his whole body, which is adorning his whole body. Next, third line says, Yashoda Dhiyo Mukha Ladhava Manam, which means Yashoda Dhiya means out of fear of Mother Yashoda, being fearful of Mother Yashoda. Ukula Ladhava Manam means Ukula means from the grinding mortar. Actually, Krishna was sitting on top of a grinding mortar. Those days, Mother Yashoda didn't have the luxury of having a, electric blender, but they used to use these huge stone mortars, and, which were used for grinding spices. So Krishna, the ukha generally, or the grinding mortar is, during the end of the day's work, the ukhal is nicely cleaned out and it is turned upside down, and so that it can nicely dry out and everything, no water being inside. So, and it becomes a nice little sitting place also. So Krishna had climbed this grinding mortar, and this particular grinding mortar was made out of stone. It was hugely heavy, very, very heavy. So Krishna was easily able to nicely, it was a nice little pillar kind of thing. So Krishna was easily able to climb back on top of it, and he was sitting actually on top of that, and then he was eating the butter and, feeding the monkeys and birds also. So, but as soon as, Krishna realized that Mother Yashoda was coming, what did he do? Out of his fear for Mother Yashoda, he la dhavamanam. Dhavamanam means he fled in fear of Mother Yashoda from the ukhala, from the grinding mortar. And paramishta matyanta to drutya gotya. And he started fleeing. Now the fleeing, when Krishna was fleeing away from Mother Yashoda, he actually started doing, circles around the courtyard first. And Mother Yashoda was also not going to give up that day. She was also going to, chase around with Krishna. Now, Yashoda Dhiyo Lukha means Yashoda Dhi, which means the fear of Mother Yashoda. Here, this particular word is very, very important, very, very, how should I say, it's a little controversial, it seems, because Satyavata Muni, he's, if you notice a trend in this Damodarastakam, he's actually giving a lot of controversies, and he is, so-called controversies, sorry to say, not that they are direct controversies, but it appears to be like a controversy. Like in this word, that Yashoda Dhiyo. Why would Krishna be fearful of Mother Yashoda? Many people say that Krishna is just enacting this pastime. He's just acting. He's actually not fearful, but he's just acting so that he is, just showing his anger. So to that actually, Sanatana Goswami Prabhupada is saying that no, he's not acting. And this is also validated in the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the prayers of Queen Kunti, where in the text 31 of chapter 8, she ends the line, I don't remember the first 3 lines, but the last line is, Sa mam vimokhayati dhir api yad vidhyati, which means that Krishna, the whole verse actually means that Yashoda Mata actually took out a rope to bind you when Krishna committed some offense. But Krishna, who was so fearful of Mother Yashoda, he is actually feared by fear personified also. Dhirati yad vidhyati means even fear personified is fearful of Krishna. And that Krishna is being fearful of Mother Yashoda. Isn't this a controversy or not? But who is fear personified? Fear personified is Yamaraj. Everyone is fearful of Yamaraj. But Kunti Devi is saying that even Yamaraj is actually fearful of Krishna. And that same Krishna is actually being fearful of Mother Yashoda, simple, gopi of Vrindavan. What kind of controversy is this? But the reason why Krishna, Sanatana Goswami explains that he's actually fearful, in its actual sense, he was literally terrified by Mother Yashoda. He was really fearful. He was not putting up an act. He was not putting up a show. But he was fearful that, my mother is angry with me, and I don't want to lose her love. I don't want her to stop loving me and be angry with me. So that was the fear that Krishna had. Because just like we are always also fearful that, Krishna should never take us away from, that we should never go away from Krishna. That is the fear we have. Even Krishna has that same fear that his devotees should not go away from him. So Mother Yashoda, her anger, Krishna was seeing it for the first time. He was seeing it for the first time. Mother Yashoda being so angry, he was witnessing it for the first time. And he didn't want to lose her love. And that is why he was being fearful. And with that fear, he was running. He ran. And, he was trying to see where he can go. But then Mother Yashoda was chasing after him, with the stick. She was chasing after him. And then Krishna just opened the main gate of his palace from the courtyard, and he ran into the streets of Gokul. And when he was running, Sanatana Goswami explains that, all the elderly gopis at that time, by this time it was around 6:30 in the morning, so all the elderly gopis, they had come outside their homes, to draw this nice decoration outside their home, the rangoli they do, and put water in front of their house, that's what traditionally is done. So the gopis had come out to do all of those morning activities, and they saw, baby Krishna running away, and then they looked behind and saw Mother Yashoda chasing after him with a stick. And they were like, what's wrong with you, Yashoda? What are you doing? Why are you doing this? So then Mother Yashoda said, I'm not going to leave Krishna today. He has, committed an offense, and I'm going to punish him. He has committed a great thing, a great offense. So if he is not punished right now, then he will become, spoiled. So I don't want him to be spoiled. I want to punish him so that he knows that what he's done is wrong. Like this, Mother Yashoda was so angry, and Krishna was running. So I think today we'll end here, and the running pastime, which comes here, Paramrishtam Atyanta Todrutya Gopya, that the Mother Yashoda ultimately caught him from behind by chasing after him with greater speed. Before we come to this last line, we'll have another explanation which is going to be a little long. So therefore I'm choosing to end it here. But there are 3-4 important points that we'll discuss, and we'll start from here tomorrow. But if there's any comments or questions, what we heard today, we can take that now. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, and Krishna. I wish you would have gone further.
You want me to? I thought I can stop here. If you want me to, it will take me another 10 minutes to cover. Do you want me to go further and then take questions?
I don't know whether I don't have any questions.
Go ahead.
Please.
Go ahead. Okay.
Please go ahead, Mataji.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right. We will go ahead.
Mataji, I'm listening, and when you said I'll stop here, I was like, no.
Okay. So I'll go ahead. At least we'll finish the first verse. All right. Okay. So now Yashoda was chasing behind Krishna. Now this chasing was, and Krishna, those gopis who were not outside, he was banging on their door, save me, look what my mother is doing. She's running after me, she's going to beat me up, please save me. And he was not putting up an act, he was really fearful. So like how small little children, how they, go and ask for help if their parents are being angry. That's the same thing that Krishna was doing, and he was running really, really fast. Now here, Mother Yashoda, she is, running behind Krishna, right? And when she was running, she was not able to run so fast the way Krishna was able to run. Krishna was running with, he's a young child, a 3-year-old, although he's got baby steps, but he was really, springing ahead. But Mother Yashoda, she was a little bulky too, and she was really not able to run, but she was saying, no, I'm not going to give up. I'm really going to run after Krishna, and I'm going to catch him today. So the way that she was running with so much enthusiasm, she had got very nicely dressed up, because it was Diwali day and all that. She had adorned nice malati flowers on her head, strung them up, and she had put them up on her head. And, when she was running, her hair became loose, and the flowers that were adorning her hair also started falling down. They were hitting the floor. Now, when this was happening, there were 3 reasons, again, given by Srila Sanatana Goswami, that why the flowers on Mother Yashoda's head were falling down. One group of flowers, they were thinking that, oh, Mother Yashoda, she's such a great devotee, such a wonderful devotee. Even yogis and rishis and munis, they are actually trying to catch Krishna through the speed of their own mind. There's the speed of light, there's the speed of sound, so many speeds, right? But do we know what the speed of mind is? The speed of mind is that if you are thinking of Sri Mayapur Dham, then you'll be there, even though you are in the vicinity of your own home or your workplace. So that is the power and the speed of mind. If you are thinking of a rasagulla, even if you are fasting during Kartik Vrata, if you are thinking of eating a rasagulla, you are actually eating it. So that's the power and the speed of mind. But anyway, so this is, it's the fastest speed imaginable. It is explained in the Srimad Bhagavatam that when Parashuram, when he was, it is said that he wiped out the Kshatriyas for 21 times, he was battling with them. And when he first started the battle, Parashuram is said to be, battling with each and every person of the Kshatriyas with the speed of mind. He was, battling with them. And then he got tired after 1,000 years, and then he came down to the speed of sound. That is what is mentioned. So the speed of mind is very, very, it's the fastest means of transport, actually, that is there in, that in the entire universe. So the yogis and the rishis, by their meditation, so with the power of their, mind, with the speed of their mind, they're actually trying to catch Krishna by meditating on him, right? They're doing, tapasya for so many thousands upon thousands of ages, and still they're not able to catch Krishna. But here is Mother Yashoda, a young, and a simple gopi of Vrindavan, just a, mother. She is trying to catch Krishna. So the flowers, one group of flowers are thinking, what a great devotee Mother Yashoda is. So much more superior to all those rishis and munis and yogis. Let us take the dust of her lotus feet upon our head. So that's why one group of flowers thinking like that, they were falling down to her lotus feet. Another group of flowers, they were thinking that, oh, this is very dangerous. You know why? Because Mother Yashoda is actually chasing Krishna. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of God, and even Yamaraj is afraid of him. Even Yamaraj is afraid of him. Mother Yashoda is trying to catch that Krishna. Oh my God, what will be the consequence of this? We don't want to be a part of this whole conspiracy, If Mother Yashoda catches Krishna, then, whatever, God knows what kind of laws she will have to bear, judgment she'll have to bear. He is the master of the entire universe. So we don't want to be a part of this conspiracy. So therefore, let us just get away from this whole scene. And there were, some group of flowers were falling down thinking like this. And the other group of flowers were thinking, Mother Yashoda, she's such a, simple-hearted gopi, and she's trying so hard to catch baby Krishna. Let us help her by reducing some of her weight. She's carrying our weight on her head, and that's why maybe she's not able to run fast. So let us fall down so that she can run fast sooner and be able to catch Krishna. That way she'll be relieved of some anxiety. So thinking like this, some of the flowers were falling down. So these are the three explanations that are given by Srila Sanatana Goswami that why the flowers from Mother Yashoda's head were falling down. Again, the point that even flowers have consciousness. In the spiritual world, anything in connection with Krishna has consciousness. So even these flowers were able to think and feel like this. So that is what is explained by Srila Sanatana Goswami. And, once the flower fell off, Mother Yashoda really felt a little light, and she was able to go and catch baby Krishna. And then she dragged him. She said, now today, Kanha, you're finished. You not only, made me run early in the morning, so much of, exertion you have given me. And today, you're finished, Kanha. Look what you've made my condition. My dress is dirty. My hair, look at what you've done to me. Today, I'm not going to leave you. I'm going to punish you. So, that brings us to the second verse, which we will discuss tomorrow. And so Mother Yashoda brings Krishna back to the courtyard of her palace. So we'll start from here from tomorrow. So any questions or comments? Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much for the wonderful explanation. Mataji, in the beginning you said that Mother Yashoda was doing a service to Krishna, but she was at the same time she wanted to take care of the milk because a pure devotee would consider everybody to participate in that devotional service, and maybe they themselves are not able to do. How do we take it? Because on one side you are serving Krishna in person, and then at the other time you are leaving Krishna as a service and trying to accommodate others in the service. So which one is kind of like more higher? Because in this scenario Krishna became angry.
Right. Of course, Krishna did become angry because he is, manifesting his pastimes as a child. But we do need to understand that in the right sense, Mother Yashoda was absolutely right in what she did. Because that's how a pure devotee always works, And it doesn't mean that, every time that we engage engage someone in the service of Guru and Krishna, that we are making sure that the service, just because we want to engage everyone, it should not be artificial in the sense that the service of the Guru is stopped and, we are not able to neither ourselves do it nor engage anyone else. It should not be like that. Or it should not be at the cost that, okay, because Guru is not getting this service or Krishna is not getting this service, because we are trying to engage others. It should not be like that also, which was not the case what Mother Yashoda and Krishna was doing, because Krishna, he actually, we have to understand that this pastime that Krishna was doing with Mother Yashoda, he had an ultimate purpose also in mind, although he's displaying his childhood pastimes and this, but in the end we'll find out what was his ultimate motive also. So Krishna wanted to really express his anger because he felt that he was not satisfied. But and that is the relationship of love that he had with Mother Yashoda. But Mother Yashoda is also right in thinking that she didn't want that milk to go waste. So that was higher in even in Krishna's eyes. That was higher service, and he recognized that aspect of Mother Yashoda's acting. So when, of course, for us, imbibe that same thing, we should first understand that we cannot imitate this, you know. We have to do things which are natural to us. But at the same time, the basic guidelines that we also follow is that try to do service in the association of devotees, right? It's not that in Nirjan Bhajan we are doing some service, because once we're doing that kind of service, then it's very strong chances are there that we might fall down. But if you're in the association of devotees and rendering service together, then we can make sure that the service done is proper and even our consciousness is proper. So if we can see in the lives of our pure devotees like Srila Prabhupada, we can see our Guru Vargas, how they're so expert in not only engaging themselves in devotional service, but also engaging others. And that never leaves Krishna unsatisfied. So our history is teaching us, not only history but our present is also teaching us that we can see live examples of how our Guru Vargas, they are engaging so many of us together in serving Guru and Krishna. So that is the perfection, that is the one of the things or one of the qualifications that or one of the ornaments that adorn a pure devotee is that they're not just concerned for themselves, but they're also concerned for others. Their concern for others is much more in some sense than even their own concern. So I hope this clarifies.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Mataji. And one more slight clarification, though I don't know that it makes any significance. Most of the times I have heard about these lectures from other, senior disciples. I have heard that mortar was a wooden grinding mortar. You mentioned it was a stone one, so.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Sometimes, yes, even this the Satyavat Muni's commentary, it is mentioned wooden grinding mortar, and in one place I did read stone. So the reason why stone can be interpreted as that wooden grinding mortar was as heavy as stone. It can be interpreted like that also. But yes, you're right that it is actually made out of wood. And now if you see that grinding mortar, it's still there in Gokul and it has turned to stone, actually.
Okay.
So, thank you. Any more? Very nice class. I'm very happy to know the meaning of Damodarastakam. Very nice class. Thank you, Jagadishwari. Thank you.
Advaita Mataji, wonderful. Your storytelling, your seeing everything was just simply glorious. Where can we find, where in the Sanatana Goswami, I forgot who you said.
Sanatana Goswami, yes.
Where can we find this?
There's a small book called Sri Damodarastakam.
Okay.
And I have to look into where this publication is and whose it is. But most of these are from Sanatana Goswami's tikas, from his explanation of the Damodarastakam. Yeah, so it's from that book.
Okay, so yeah, if you can share that with Stephen Damaji or something, maybe I can look.
Sure.
Thank you so much. Up to this point, I thought I knew the Damodarastakam. I thought I knew the stories, but there's so much more depth and understanding that is in everything, in the pastimes of Krishna that we don't even understand. And so thank you so very much. It makes me appreciate it much more.
Thank you.
Haribol Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Haribol Mataji, Rupa here.
Yes, Rupa.
Okay, out of curiosity, I had a question. That this day of Diwali was which, like Lakshmi Pujan on that day or Bali Pratipada?
So, see, Diwali was celebrated at this time as the return of Lord Ramachandra also, because this happened in Dwapar Yuga, Krishna's pastime, and Lord Ramachandra came in Treta. So, in Dwapar Yuga, they would celebrate Diwali. So, they would celebrate Diwali just as a, festival of lights to welcome and to to welcome, goodness over evil, the victory of goodness over evil. That was that. And definitely how Krishna killed Narakasura, that of course came later, but when this day was celebrated by Mother Yashoda was because of, the other reasons that we know.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Rupa.
Bye.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanavad.